Hi, good morning, and welcome to Northern Zen Yoga. My name is Sandra, and today we're going to be doing some beautiful, gentle stretching of the body in our yoga practice. But before we begin, I'm just going to give people a few more minutes to kind of start to check in because it's that kind of morning. It's Saturday, and a lot of times we just lose track of time as the morning progresses. So if you are checking in, do me a favor, if you have the ability to go to your computer or your tablet, whatever you're watching this on, and you can go to the chat space, just put your first name, where you are in the world, and say good morning. And I'll say good morning back to you. And while we're waiting, I just want to remind you that on my YouTube channel, there is a lot of different live classes that you can rewatch at any time at your convenience. And one of the ones I've done most recently is a chair yoga class. Now, chair yoga is perfect for people who have a difficulty getting down on the floor. And that's one advantage of doing the chair yoga. But for those of you that have no problem getting down on the floor, I highly recommend that you at least try it out because you'll be quite surprised at the difference in the dynamic of the movements in the chair compared to on the floor. And a lot of people find it, including myself, a nice break from the usual that we do. And you'll find that you might even use a few muscles that you haven't used before because it's just a different way of doing it. And so, your muscles get kind of used to a certain way of performing. And when you throw a little something extra into the mix, it just makes the practice that much more interesting. So Brenda, hello, Brenda. You are in Montreal. So it's sunny in Montreal. I wish it was sunny here where I am in North Bay, Ontario, but it is not. Today we're going to have rain. So yesterday was gorgeous. Tomorrow's supposed to be nice, but today is rainy day. So I'm going to just give a couple more minutes. What time is it now? Yeah, it's just a couple of minutes after 10. We'll wait a few more minutes for people to start checking in, and then we'll begin the class. So keep in mind, too, that if you enjoy live yoga classes and you would like to do it more often with me and the ladies who are part of Northern Zen Yoga's membership, you can go to my website, www.northernzenyoga.com, and you can check out the various charges for being part of the membership. It's not expensive. It is very reasonable. It costs a month about what it would cost to go to one live yoga class at a yoga studio. And for the whole month, you get access to not only all of the Zoom classes live, which there's at least 3 a week, sometimes 4, but you also have a library of over a year now of classes that have been produced on the Zoom, and you can check those out. Lots of different types, everything from very gentle yoga, yin yoga, restorative yoga, yoga with weights, and of course, vinyasa flow. And you can access those 24/7, anytime, once you become a member. So have a look at that, www.northernzenyoga.com, and check out the various levels of charges for, depending how long you would like to be a member for. While we're talking about promotion of things, if you enjoy this video, please remember to hit like and let YouTube know you like it. And also, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. And then you'll get notifications when all the live classes happen, which is generally a couple of times a month. So let's start. I'm going to begin now. So if you're having yourself on a mat, you can begin by sitting on a nice little cushion. If you have a low cushion, it will just help you we're going to be on the mat for a little while, just give a little more comfort for your bottom. And also too, you'll find that if you lift up your hips just a few inches, your legs will open up, the hip joints will open up a little more freely. The other thing you can do, in especially the first part of this practice, is if you need to, you can sit in a chair for doing the first beginning stretches. There may be parts of this that you would not be able to do in a chair, but you can always try and see if you can modify it to fit the chair. So if you have blocks, grab your blocks, keep them handy just in case we need them. And if you don't have blocks, you can always use a couple of really thick hard-covered books. They're perfect for what purpose that we use a block for. So let's come on to our bottom here. And we're going to come into an easy pose. So easy pose is just a cross-legged position. Now, for me, this is what my easy pose looks like. For you, it could be a little bit different looking. For one thing, your knees may not, you might be able to get your ankles and your heels close to your body, but your knees may not be down as low as mine. Don't worry about it. All you need to be concerned for is that, are you feeling a stretch? The other thing, if your knees are tight and you can't quite bring them in close to the body, anything from legs stretched out with ankles crossed and everything in between is an easy pose. So for all of those of you that are out there, find your easy pose and come into it and just sit for a moment. I want you to just breathe. I don't want you to think about anything particular. I don't want you to worry about what you're supposed to be doing later today or what you could have done yesterday that you didn't get done. Instead, I want you to just come into your body for a moment. And one of the ways we can connect with the body is by connecting to our breath. Just noticing, breathing in and breathing out. You can let your eyes close slightly if you like. And I apologize, my voice is a little rough this morning. And you can just let your shoulders relax down. And if you don't want to close your eyes, you can just let your vision get fuzzy. Just not really focusing on anything, just letting things relax now. And just notice your body, how it moves when you breathe in and you breathe out. If it's possible for you, breathing in and out through the nose. So you're inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose as well. Check in with your shoulders, make sure you're feeling relaxed. Make sure you're not tensing up in your back. But at the same time, we want to sit up nice and straight, so make sure you're not slouching over. We're going to start to deepen our breath and focus more on how we breathe. So on your inhale, we're going to push our belly out a bit. So you're going to focus on the belly button, and when you breathe in, you're going to push your belly button out, and when you breathe out, you're going to push the belly button back in. This may not feel natural while you're doing it, but focus on it, you'll be able to. So let's inhale, exhale, push the belly back in. Inhaling and exhaling. Taking your time, slowing your breath down. Nice, long, slow inhale. And a nice, slow exhale. You can let your eyes come open now. And we're going to be working within the range of our muscles and our joints. And we're going to be working with both the extension or stretching and the contraction of the muscle. So everything we're going to do today, we're going to do it very deliberately, a little bit maybe slower than you've done before. And we're also going to hold things for just an extra breath. So let's begin with raising up the arms toward the ceiling. So starting right out, arms extended, fingers stretched out. Just start to raise your arms up. But I want you to start to notice about your shoulders. Make sure your shoulders aren't coming up with your arms. Instead, just reaching up, keeping the shoulders relaxed down. And if that means you bend your elbows a little bit, so be it. And if you can't touch your fingertips together, don't worry about it. Just come up as high as you can, even if your hands are only here before you feel like you have to start to scrunch up in order to get higher. It's not about how high you are, it's about feeling the stretch. So let's take an extra breath here as we breathe in this stretch. And as we come down, we're going to tighten up our fists, tighten up our muscles in our forearms, tighten up our biceps, and bring the elbows down toward the floor. and then relax the arms down again. Let's come back up, inhaling back up again as high as you can without scrunching up the shoulders. Tapping fingertips together, take an inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to scrunch up our fists, bend at the elbow, tighten up all the muscles in the arm, coming down in that He-Man kind of position, and then very gently allowing the arms to just relax out toward the floor. Inhale up again. And exhaling down, the He-Man pose. Notice all the muscles you need to activate to get your elbows to pull down. And then relax the arms out to the side. We're going to inhale the arms up again as high as we can. And this time on the exhale, we're going to drop our right hand down. We're going to press our fingertips or a palm, depending how far you can push down, into the floor. And we're going to make sure our left bottom cheek is touching down. And we're just going to stretch. And we're just going to reach right over top of our ear. You can start to bend a little bit with this stretch, dropping your shoulder toward the floor. And we're going to take an extra breath here. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, let's do that fisting again. Pull the elbow down again. And as you start to bring your fist down past your face, you're going to start to push into the floor, come back up again, and then relax that arm down. Let's do it on the other side now, raising up the right hand, pressing the left hand down into the floor, taking a nice side bend, making sure this time though your right bottom cheek is pushing down. You'll want to lift up, but keep pressing it down, relaxing yourself to the side as much as you can. And then take an inhale. And as you exhale, scrunch up your fist, pull your elbow back first, push yourself up, and then just let that arm relax out. So as you do this, I want you to notice the sensations in your arms. Let's do that once more on the right side. So right hand plants down, lifting up the left arm toward the ceiling first and then overhead, pushing your palm or your fingers into the floor and your left bottom cheek down nice and firmly. Nice long side bend. Take an extra breath here. And exhale. Inhale again. And as you exhale, start to tighten up your fist, pull your elbow back, push into the floor, come upright, and then let that arm relax out. Inhale the left arm up, side bend to the left, pushing the left palm down, right bottom cheek into the floor. Take a nice long stretch here. Take an extra breath. And then your next inhale. On the exhale, tighten the fist up, pull the elbow back, push into the floor, come upright, and then let that arm fall out to the side. And then we're just going to relax here for just a breath. Just feel any tingling in your fingers, any energy moving through the arms. We're going to inhale the arms up once more together. And this time as we come down with clenched fists and bent elbows, we're going to start to twist. So we're going to twist gently toward the right, keeping your belly forward and your bottom planted down. Pull down as if you're pulling down a curtain or a heavy weight, and then you're going to let your arms relax back and on your lap. Straighten up nice and long and tall. And then as you exhale, just gently start to push your shoulder back just a little bit further. Just tiny, tiny, tiny movement. Take an inhale. As you exhale, slowly drift back to center. Inhale the arms up. And as you exhale, clench the fists, start to bend at the elbows, contracting your biceps as you twist gently to the left. And then drop the arms down. Straighten up your back as much as you can, and then slowly see if you can just push things just a little micro movement deeper. Not much. And then slowly come back to center. Let's inhale the arms up again. This time when we're bringing the fists down, we're going to come and bring the elbows closer to each other in front of our face. And we're going to pull down as if we're pulling down a heavy weight. And then same time, as our elbows start to pass through the sides of our body, we're going to start to bend our chest and belly forward. So I want you to be very mindful here. You may only go a few inches because you want to try to keep your bottom touching down. If it starts to lift up, you might lose your balance and fall forward. So we're just coming to that tipping point where we feel like, if I go any further, I might fall. So once you've got to that point, you're going to push your arms forward, reach out and down toward the floor, and start to walk your hands away from you as you let your belly get heavy between your legs. So we're not bringing our head down. We're just bringing our tummy down, our chest down. And it looks like this with me, but with you, it might look different. It might look more like this, coming down between the legs. If you have your legs extended out, it might look more like this, coming down. So it doesn't matter where the feet are. It doesn't matter how you've got your legs arranged. Just work on pushing the belly down between the thighs. Nice long stretch. Push, 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 push. And then we're going to slowly walk our hands back toward the body, coming upright again. Inhale, stretching up. Exhale, same movement, bringing the fists, elbows, biceps tight down. We're going to bring the arms right beside us. We're going to push the elbows back as far as we can, and then we're going to push our fists back as far as we can so that it's extended out behind us. And then we're going to gently try to squeeze toward our fingers, reaching with our fingers, seeing if we can lace them together. Now, if you can't, don't worry about it. All I want you to do is just to feel that sensation of squeezing in between the shoulder blades. So just work on that. If you can't get your fingers to each other. If you can touch fingers, see if you can lace them. If you can lace them, see if you can press your palms in. Nice big opposite stretch across the front of the chest and in the back. And then slowly bring your arms forward. Inhale them up. And this time on our exhale, we're going to come into prayer position. So bring your elbows down, and when you can, you're going to press your palms in toward each other. So whether it's up here or it begins down here, you're going to bring your palms together and you're going to press those palms firmly against each other, coming down to the middle of your chest. And just take a breath here. Just breathe. And then we're going to switch up our legs. So let's switch it up. Coming back into a forward position with our legs rearranged so that whatever foot you had in front before is now to the back and the back to the front. We're going to take that inhale again and we're going to stretch up. And on our exhale, as we come down, we're going to press our belly forward, bring our chest down, bring our elbows down, find your tipping point. And when you find it, you're going to reach out your hands, slide them away from you, bring your belly down nice and deep down toward the floor. Stretch those arms out. And now we're going to just gently, gently move our hands over toward the right, just as far as you can. Don't go too far. You don't want to lift up your bum in order to go deeper. Instead, you just want to feel a stretch just up the side of your body from just around your bum up to under your ribs. Just a nice little stretch, and keep pressing that left bottom cheek down. It's going to want to lift. And then very, very slowly, walk all the way over to the right the left this time. The opposite side. Pushing your bottom down, stretching your arms out. Take a few breaths here. And then very slowly come back to center. Open your arms up far apart between them. You're going to start to bring your forehead down to the direction of the floor. Now, if you don't get anywhere close to the floor, don't get upset about it. Just start to curl the back now, bringing the forehead down toward the floor. Breathe as you come up. Walk the hands back toward your body. Inhale, reaching up again. Exhale, bringing the elbows down in front, bringing your fists, squeezing the bicep muscles, and then bringing the elbows behind you, back as far as they can go, and then pushing your hands back behind you, and then see if you can squeeze the shoulder blades together and touch your fingers. If you can touch your fingers, lace them. If you can lace your fingers, press your palms together. And just breathe here. And if you couldn't get anywhere close to your fingers, just keep squeezing the shoulder blades toward each other. Keep going for another breath. And then slowly release. Inhale the arms up again. And this time we're coming down into Namaste or prayer pose. So bring your palms down. Try to press the palms in toward each other as soon as you can. Keep the pressure on. Actually push against each hand. Press, press, press. Bring your arms and hands down as far as you can toward the middle of your chest. Close your eyes, take an inhale, exhale, and then release everything, shake your wrists out, and we're going to stretch our legs out. So your legs probably are feeling a little stiff now, especially if you sat tightly in a cross-legged position. So we're just going to jiggle them a little bit, just to get the circulation going. And I'm going to come off my cushion at this point because I like to do a forward fold with legs, half butterfly position, a little flatter on the ground. So this is totally up to you. If you want to stay on your cushion, stay on it. And if you don't have to. So we're going to leave the right leg extended out. We're going to bring the left leg in anywhere from your foot beside your shin bone or your foot in your inside of your thigh. Your knee can be up in the air. This leg I'm really not too concerned about. It's a bonus if you can get a nice stretch going on in this leg, but we're mostly concerned with the outstretched leg. So today we're going to work on using that stretching and contracting of the muscles to help to see if we can go just a little deeper in our stretch. So I've got my leg extended out. I'm going to take a deep breath in. My hands are in a comfortable position to help to guide me down. And I'm focusing on bringing my belly down onto my thigh, not my head anywhere. Your head will follow, fine. But don't focus on getting your head down. Instead, focus on getting your belly and your chest down onto your leg. Let's take a deep breath in, lengthen up a little bit, and then tipping forward just as far as you can. Find that stopping point where your hamstrings in the back of your leg say, nope, this is it. This is as far as I'm going today. Just take a breath here. And exhale. We're going to come up just a couple of inches. So push into the floor, lift up just a little bit till you feel that stretch. Release. Take an inhale again. Exhale, come down. Notice if you went just a teensy bit further this time. We're going to come up just an inch or so. Again, inhale up just a little bit. And exhale, drop yourself back down again. One more time. Inhale, come up just a couple of inches, not all the way up. And exhale, relax back down again. So most of you will probably notice, even if it was just a small amount, you went deeper each time you came up and relaxed back down again. Push into the floor. Let's come back up. Shake that leg out. Switch legs. Each side of your body is different, so don't be worried if you don't go as deep or you happen to go deeper on this side. So let's take an inhale, lengthen up through the body. On your exhale, push your belly down. Come down nice and slow. Just let your weight take you down. Notice what you're feeling, and notice when your body's telling you, I got to stop here. Things are starting to get past achy to hurt. And let's push up just a couple of inches. Exhale, relax back down again. Inhale up just an inch or so. Exhale, relax back down again. Inhale up just a little bit. Exhale, relax back down again. And just have a few breaths here in this stretched out position. And then slowly walking your hands back, pushing yourself back upright again. Stretch both legs out, shake them out if you need to. We're going to come into a back stretch. So in this one, if you've got an extra pillow or blanket handy, you can shove that right under your thighs. What we want is we want to keep that slightly bent knee position. We don't want the legs to be flattened out here. So I've just got my blanket. I've just put it underneath my thighs so that I have a nice gentle bend in my knees. And this is very similar to your standing forward fold. So basically the mechanics are the same. The only thing that's different is what gravity is working it. So let's take an inhale, nice stretch up. And on your exhale, just bring your belly down. Drop your hands down onto your legs as far along as you can. If you can reach your toes, you could try to reach for your toes. You don't have to. Just keep pushing that belly and chest down into your thighs. Notice where you're feeling the stretch. You're probably feeling it, most likely, in your low back area, just above your bottom. That's an area that quite often gets really shortened by sitting a lot. Or if you've been traveling and you've been driving in the car or doing any thing that required you to be doing a lot of sitting, flying in an airplane, airports, all those things, trains, they tend to help our back shorten up a little bit as those long hours pass. So getting into this stretch is really good for them. It helps them to release and to stretch out. Come up just a little bit. So just like before, just press your hands into the floor, come up about an inch or two. Inhale, and as you exhale, relax back down again. Come back up an inch, just an inch. Inhale up, exhale, relax back down again. One more time, pushing into the floor, come up about an inch or so. Inhale, exhale, relax back down again. Now reach down your legs and see if your feet are closer, or you can grab them, or if you can grab more of them. And just notice how much more stretched out you are from the very first time you did it. And then very slowly, let's come back upright. To an upright seated position. You can get your blanket or pillow out of the way. And we're going to come into Cobbler Pose. So Cobbler Pose is not butterfly. It's a little bit different. You're going to leave space between your groin area and your heels. So about at least minimum this much space. So put your hand down there and start trying to bring your knees in. Just like in any of the positions, if your knees are way up here because of your hips are a little bit constricted, that's okay. If you can't bend your knees that deeply and your feet are out further, that's okay too. But make sure that if you have the legs extended out, it's because you can't bend the knees any further without going into pain. If it's just more comfortable, start to bring those heels in closer. You want to feel a little bit of uncomfortableness right from the get-go. So, as I said before, this space must be left at least. So put your hand down there. Make sure you're not too close either. And if you like, you can also open your feet up like a book so the soles go toward the ceiling. When you do this, you'll feel more stretching in your groin area. Just like before, we're going to have a nice flat back. We're not getting our head down. We're getting our belly down into that space we left. So let's take a deep breath in. Lengthen up, and your exhale, just push your belly down between your legs. Just relax here. Find your stopping point. Once you find it, just take a few breaths there. Notice what the body is doing. And then slowly come up an inch or two. Exhale and let yourself collapse back down again. Take an extra breath here. And then we're going to come up just an inch or so. Exhale. Let's relax back down again. Let's do that just once more. So take a deep inhale. Come up just a couple of inches. On your exhale, let yourself just drop down just a little deeper. And very slowly coming back up again. You can help your knees up, stretch your legs out. Let's lean back on our hands. We're just going to loosen up the hip joints a little bit by doing some windshield wipering of our feet. So we're just going to drop the feet over to the left and then drop them to the right. And make sure your whole leg is moving, not just your ankles or your toes, so that you're feeling it right up into your hip. Anytime your hips get really tight, this is a wonderful way to release the stress on the hip joint. We're going to slowly bring our knee up toward our chest. So we're just going to grab underneath the thigh. And we're going to slide that foot down flat. And then we're going to try to bring that foot in as close as we can toward our body. So focus on the heel and bringing that heel. If you have issues with the knees, you might not be as close as I can get. If you have issues with your hip joint, you may not be able to get close as I can get. So what you need to just listen to your body and ask itself, where am I actually feeling this? And that's where you're going to focus your breath. When you're breathing, I want you to imagine that you're breathing light right down into the spots that are hurting. So let's slide the foot back out again and bring it back in. See, this time we can bring it in just a teensy bit closer. Take a breath or two here. Remember that white light coming down into the spot that's hurting or aching the most. Slide your foot away from you just a little bit and then bring it back in again. Take another breath here. Slide the foot out just a few inches and then bring it back in again. And then slowly stretch it right back out. Switching legs. Start to bring the left heel in towards your body. Just keep bringing it in as close as you can get it. And listen to your body. Your body will tell you when you need to stop. And when you get to that point where it feels like, I better stop here, then you're going to take a breath. You're going to slide your foot out a little ways. And bring it back again. So you can get it just a little closer. Take another breath here. Slide your foot away from you just a couple of inches away and then bring it back in again. Once more, just push your heel away a few inches from your body and then pull it back in again. Take another breath here. And then let everything slide back out again. Lean back on your hands and once again, let's just windshield wiper. Feet side to side. And now we're going to come down onto our back, and this is where you're probably going to want to have a block or at minimum a really firm pillow or a couple of hard-covered books. We're going to be using the block in a couple of different ways. So I please encourage you to get yourself a block if you haven't got one. They're not expensive. You can get them at most stores like Walmart, Winners, Marshalls, Ross, places like that sell a little bit of sporting equipment. And of course you can go to a sporting goods store and they probably have them, but they're probably more expensive there. So let's come down gently onto our back and bring your knees with you. And if you like, you can have a little cushion behind your head, especially if you feel like your neck is overextending. Come onto your back. And just bring your knees up and rock and roll on your back, side to side or in circles, whichever feels good. Just trying to encourage your back to soften down because we've been bending forward. So we want our back to relax out again. Bring your feet flat to the floor. We're going to take our block and we're going to use the low side of the block. So if you've got a 3 or 4 inch block, it will be this side. If you've got a smaller block, one that's only a couple of inches deep, you could flip it over to this side, but you might find that's too much. So let's push into the floor with our feet. Lift your hips up. We're going to slide the block right underneath our sacrum. So our sacrum is the area between the hip bones. So not on your spine. So this is really critical. This is the only downside of doing yoga this way is I cannot see what you're doing. So you must be able to put your hand underneath between the block and your rib cage where your back touches down. If you have the block on your spine, your bottom is probably hanging off. So make sure you have at least the top part of your bottom making contact. And it should be pretty comfy. Let your shoulders relax down. Put your arms out into a T. And very, very slowly, we're going to stretch our feet out, keeping our feet flat for as long as we can. So starting to stretch the legs out until we feel stretching going on here that starts to get uncomfortable, or if our knees are not feeling good or our back is not feeling good, we're going to stop. If you can keep going, you're going to lift your toes up and stretch your toes up toward the ceiling and push your heels away from you, and you'll feel it get much more intense to stretch. And then you're going to slowly bring your feet back. And then slide them back out again. Trying to make contact with the mat, all your full foot for as long as you can before you lift the toes up. And stretch the legs out. Take a breath here. Next inhale, slide the feet back towards the block. And then push them back out again. And just relax here. Bring your feet back. You can bring them back together or one at a time, whatever feels good. And we're going to come off of our feet and we're going to lift our feet up toward the ceiling. So bend your knees, lift your feet up, and then push your heels and toes up toward the ceiling. And make sure it feels very comfortable on your back. You should be able to roll side to side. It should not be on your spine. It should be just on that flat place. And let your arms relax out and your legs extending up toward the ceiling. And if you like, you can point your toes or push your heels up. Now, if you don't have a block or a hard-covered book, you can always just put a nice firm cushion underneath you. You just want to get your bottom up a little higher than your shoulders are going to be. And while you're up here with your feet up in the air, you can do anything you feel is good. You can roll your ankles around in circles. You can just pump your toes up and down toward the ceiling. If you feel more energetic, you can start to let your legs open up in a big V. If you get stuck out here, just grab the sides, push them back in again. And just feel the sensations in your legs as the blood starts to circulate in a way that's not normal for it. Feels sometimes a little creepy. Get these little creepy crawlies up your legs. Some people feel it's tingly. You get tingling sensations. You can drop your heels down. You can lift them back up again, adding a little pumping action into this circulation. But if you've got varicose veins, doing this, or even if you just get next to a wall and leave your legs up leaning against the wall, this is so good for your body to help to relieve that pressure in the veins. All right, slowly, slowly bring your feet back down flat to the floor. We're going to come off the block. So we're going to do it very gently, and we're going to really be mindful of our back. So we're going to just push into the floor enough to slide that block away. And then we're going to gently, gently drop our body down onto the floor. You're going to feel your back feels arched up. So we're going to widen our feet wide apart as we can. And then windshield wipering again, our knees this time, just from one side to the other side. Nice and slow. And you'll start to feel your back flatten down again. If that doesn't seem to be helping, and you're still feeling like it's arched away, you can bring your knees up to your chest and you can roll on your back. Gently side to side. We're going to take our block now and we're going to place it between our knees. We're going to point our toes in toward each other. So they're kind of pointed in, our heels are pushed out, and we're squeezing the block. So make sure that block is just in the thigh area, between your two thighs. And we're going to squeeze with all our might, and then we're going to release. So this is just a little squeezing action, but I want you to put a lot of energy into it to really see if you can squeeze that block with all your might. So let's take a big inhale. As you exhale, squeeze, 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 squeeze. Keep squeezing. If you have to sneak in another breath in there, you can do it. Just keep squeezing. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then gently release, but not enough to drop the block. Just enough to stop the squeeze from happening. And we're going to squeeze it again. Take an inhale. Exhale as you squeeze. Keep squeezing. Really put all your work into it. Really, really, really try to crush that block or book or whatever you've got there. And then release. Once more, take an inhale. As you exhale, squeeze that block as hard as you can. And release. With the block still in between your legs, you're going to lift your feet up off the floor, and we're just going to gently roll onto the left side of our hip. Keep that block between your knees, and let your shoulders relax down though. Try to keep the shoulders down toward the floor as best you can. And just let your knees go over to the left as far as they can go without you lifting up that shoulder to make it go further. And you look to the right, that helps. Take a few breaths here. Inhale, lift the knees up toward the chest. Very, very slowly drop them over to the right. Looking to the left this time, try to keep our left shoulder down. And just breathe, squeezing that block nice and gently. Inhale, bring your knees back up. Grab your shins. Let's just rock back and forth. Still got that block between your knees, keeping the squeeze happen, gentle squeeze on it. And then we're dropping our feet to the floor. We're going to move the block out of the way. We're going to just move it out for now. We don't need it again. And we're slowly going to stretch our legs out. Coming into Shavasana. So if you want to grab a blanket and a pillow, you can do that. Otherwise, we're just going to take a few minutes just to allow our body to just relax, to just absorb everything we've done, to calm our minds for a moment. Corpse pose, Shavasana, is just as important a posture as any of the others we've done to this point. So the trick here, though, is to relax and to allow your body to start to relax. So make sure you take up lots of space. Spread your legs out, spread your arms out. Have your chin facing upward toward the ceiling. Take a few of those deep, long breaths and just release it through your mouth so that you sigh out any other tension you might have. Just moan and groan. And then let everything become soft. Let your feet relax. Let your fingers relax and curl. Let your breathing start to relax again, getting shallower. Not so focused on our breath now. Let your jaw relax. Let your tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth. And then let your mind relax. Let it drift away to a beautiful place where you feel peaceful. And just go there. I'll wake you up. Don't worry about falling asleep. I'll wake you up. Just relax and let go for just a few more moments. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, gently waking your body back up. And if it feels good, give yourself a nice full body stretch. Stretch it all out. And then bring your knees up and give yourself a lovely hug. And take a moment to thank your body. Your body works so hard for you every day. And we don't really appreciate our bodies. We don't take care of them all the time. But show it some love and then roll over to one side. And take a few more breaths in this position, this nice curled up fetal position. Feel everything that you're feeling at this moment. Feel how you feel inside. And not just how your body feels, but how your mind is feeling right now. How peaceful you feel. And then very slowly, you can start making your way up to a seated position to join me in easy pose. So remember, yoga is a journey. It's a process that we go through that there's no end to it. There's only the beginning and the journey. And the journey can take you all kinds of different places. And some days you'll be really good at yoga, and some days you'll be not so good at yoga. Some days you'll be flexible, other days you'll be stiff. It's just the way your body is. And we should never try to judge ourselves or beat ourselves up about it. And even if right now everything that we did felt really uncomfortable and you didn't think, that you could do this thing called yoga, don't give up, because yoga eventually and ultimately will change your body. It just takes time. How long it will take? That's a lot of factors involved. And one of them is your dedication to yourself in order to get your body moving. So before we leave today, we'll chant the beautiful sound of Om. So let's take a breath in and out first, and then we'll inhale to chant Om. Let's inhale, exhale. Inhale for Om. Om. Rub your hands together, generating some energy, your prana. As you do this, feel that heat building up. Think about a place right now that you can feel. You can absolutely feel that spot. Close your eyes, place your palms over your closed eyes, and as you breathe in, open them. And send that energy right down to that place. On your exhale, palms to ceiling, sending beautiful energy out to the whole world, to those that need it, near and far. And then scooping up just a little bit to bring back to your heart center. Namaste. So if you have any questions, if you want to ask me anything about the practice today or anything to do with yoga or your journey, please chat it to me in the chat area and I will answer it. I'll give you a couple more minutes to do that. And if not, then I want you to have a wonderful rest of your weekend. So I'm going to come closer to the computer so I can read it, because without getting closer, I won't be able to see it. And if you are still watching and you joined and you haven't yet, put your name in the chat and let me know that you're out there so that I can say hi back. And before you leave, don't forget to hit the like button. That's if you did like it, and I hope you did. And that also tells me if a lot of people like it, that I'm doing the right thing. Oh, thank you, Brenda. Brenda's telling me that she had a good workout because of contraction of the muscles. It felt more like doing a little bit of more vigorous exercise. So that's great. Good, Brenda. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you join me again next time in a couple of weeks. No other questions? Nobody wants to. I see that there's still a few people watching, and if you have a chance, if you want to just even type your name in and let me know you're out there, that would be great. Otherwise, I'm going to give it a couple of more minutes, and then I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. So don't forget to check out my website, northernzenyoga.com, and check out the workshops that are coming up. Check out the membership fees that are there and what's involved. And if you have any suggestions for me for yoga classes in the future, just send me a message. You can message me on Facebook or through Instagram, or you can send me an email at northernzenyoga@gmail.com. Okay, well, I'm going to go now. Nobody's got any questions for me. So I want to wish you a really happy weekend. And if you had holidays this week, I hope you had a great time with the family, visiting the family. So bye for now. See you next time.